There we go. Yeah, we good. Welcome in, YouTube world. We are back for another excellent episode from Comical Sports. Please subscribe below to our podcast, to our Instagram, to all our good stuff, including this YouTube page, which is really huge too. As we continue to grow, please do so. My camera's over there this time, which is fascinating. So there are reports going around about Tom Brady. You know, that guy, that former champion quarterback, the one who is the greatest of all time, undisputed. There are reports that he is going to take this free agency in a way that LeBron did with the decision in 2010 and doing it where teams come to him. He's going to delay the rest of the free agent market for him and make teams wait to decide what their futures are with Tom Brady. So what does that mean for the rest of the teams? It means Phillip Rivers is maybe short on a job. It means Jameis Winston will have to wait. It means Teddy Bridgewater will have to wait. These guys that are in the category for $25 million contracts are going to have to wait to see what TB12 decides to do. And this is fascinating because teams are doing it because he's Tom Brady and what his previous accomplishments are. But are they thinking about what Tom Brady possesses of future accomplishments? What does this mean for the team going forward? Instead of paying for what Brady's name is and what it recognizes, are you trying to build a champion? And this is an interesting case because teams that wait for Tom Brady, i.e. the Raiders, the Colts, the Chargers, maybe the Buccaneers, the Cowboys have the wherewithal to wait if they want to get a meeting with Tom Brady. And the Patriots are going to probably have to wait because of what Bob Kraft is. If it were Belichick, I think he would rather do something else than wait on Tom Brady. Because honestly, I feel like he likes Tom, but he's not married to the relationship at this point. He'd be absolutely fine seeing Brady go somewhere else, despite what the legacy may suggest at this point. And I think it's an interesting proposition because why are teams so inclined to wait it out for Tom Brady? I think the best case scenario is going to be paying someone smaller dollars, but at that point those top tier quarterbacks are going to be gone. And someone like Case Keenum, when you don't give him a good enough roster, we saw what happened with Denver the previous year, but with Minnesota and a strong roster, he could take you to the NFC Championship game. Therefore, the key is to build out the rest of the roster. And for some teams to do that, they'll need hard resets, like what the Panthers should do, what the Broncos should do, what the Raiders did and are now moving their way up, what the Dolphins did and are moving their way up. You just need a hard reset at times. And it's a position where Tom Brady is going to get a contract from one of these teams, and the rest of the quarterbacks are going to filter out to the rest of the teams who have money to make a move. And a team like Cam Newton and the Panthers are going to be waiting for a quarterback. You look at the situation with the Chargers. Do they go get a quarterback? What do the Raiders do with Derek Carr? If Brady doesn't come, are they content to ride it out with Carr, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense why they would do it? Why are teams so inclined to wait for Tom Brady at this point? Tom Brady's planning to do this decision style like LeBron did in 2010, but it's obvious looking back on it, that was a catastrophic mistake on LeBron's legacy. Tom Brady wants to feel important, and he wants to hold this standard that he is TB12 at this point. And someone should get in his ear and say, this is not who Tom Brady has been. This is not who the successful Tom Brady has been throughout his career. And now he's in a position where he wants to do this and be the 42-year-old, the godsend. He wants to feel the praise, the retirement tour, and that's not the way Belichick does things. He doesn't praise people up for their run. He's about winning the Super Bowl every single year. Existential flexibility. He's the greatest coach ever at always seeing the next path towards some kind of prosperity. So when you put that situation together with what we're looking at with Brady wanting this kind of retirement tour thing, Brady's mindset has shifted from where he was as a 38-year-old and where he was as a 41-year-old, not necessarily as a football guy, but just as a way he interprets life. What does he want out of his life as he sees both ends in equal clarity? as he progresses towards life without football. So I think at this point he knows that he's looking for a retirement tour of some sorts, and I think that's why he's looking for it with some other team, so he can be praised despite the fact that he may not be in a position to win. And it's obviously a show for whoever it brings in Tom Brady, and their coach is probably going to survive no matter what, but it doesn't feel like Tom Brady is in a position where he could win, but if he wants to win, he's not of the mindset right now. He wants a retirement tour, it feels like. He wants to feel like Tom Brady and feel the gratitude. That's why he's doing this decision thing where he has teams come to him NBA style and kind of pitch themselves to him, sell themselves on why they want the great Tom Brady. It's very anti-Tom Brady, but it's just the way that it goes. It's Belichick bred Brady up to be that guy throughout his time, and he continued to work hard and hard and hard, and it's why Belichick found such a great affinity for Tom Brady and what Tom Brady possessed, was that Belichick knew what kind of worker Tom Brady was coming up, and chose him over Bledsoe because he inherited Bledsoe. He could win with Bledsoe because Bledsoe was a great quarterback, but now he had Brady going forward. He knew Brady was that quarterback. Even though he was a sixth rounder, he could work hard. There is nothing special about Tom Brady. Tom Brady was not gifted this gene, this ability to play football. Tom Brady is a hard worker. And Belichick can find that in Andy Dalton. He can find that in one of these other guys not named Tom Brady. That's why he wants to move off of him so bad. It's why I'm rooting for Brady to go somewhere else just for Belichick's sake. So when you look at this position that Brady has put other teams in, I don't know why teams would want to wait for Brady and sign up for overpaying for Tom Brady, because you're going to pay a 43-year-old $30 million potentially for 3 years is what they're talking about this market being, which is absolutely insane for Tom Brady. And it doesn't make sense why teams would also wait for that, and then they don't get him, and then they end up paying those top dollars to a guy like Bridgewater. And Bridgewater's a great quarterback, but as we've seen with Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Matt Ryan less so, Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, Jared Goff, all these guys, you don't pay them the top dollar unless they're one of the 5 elite quarterbacks. It's so painfully obvious, and I'm so glad that this free agent market exists, because it's going to make it a lot easier to determine how good teams are going to be as they go forward. What do they do with the quarterback position tells a lot about an organization. Brady is not in a position to succeed. Why? Because the Patriots have an extremely talented team. They had the most talented defense through 8 weeks we had ever seen. So anywhere else Brady goes is going to have significantly less talent than the Patriots. The Colts may be the closest exception to that, because the Colts were looking like the next great dynasty of the next 7 to 10 years before Andrew Luck aborted that dynasty by retiring. So the Colts then are looking for a quarterback. The Colts may be the one exception where Brady could go in, but seeing where Brady's mindset is at this point, I don't know if he's looking for that situation where he can continue to grow, where he can work the way he's worked before towards getting a championship. It feels like he wants the praise of being Tom Brady and one more extra contract, and he wants to feel special at this point. It's very anti-Tom Brady, but it makes sense given where he's at and seeing his life in equal clarity. It's fascinating where Tom Brady is going to go with this and why teams are so willing to wait and see what happens. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But football doesn't make a ton of sense, and only the best leaders are the ones who end up creating a pathway towards a championship, the way Belichick has done for so many years, the way Andy Reid has, the way John Harbaugh has continued to be. The Ravens are in a real position to succeed going forward. Those are the ones who are going to succeed. Tom Brady was bred up by Belichick because of Belichick knowing what Tom Brady possessed. That was so much different than Drew Bledsoe, who he inherited and then continued to work all the way through with Brady. He wanted Garoppolo to be that next Tom Brady. He was going to make Garoppolo the next Tom Brady. And it didn't work out well for Belichick because he had to keep Tom Brady, and he may be forced to keep Tom Brady again. And that's Bob Kraft going from the existentially flexible to wanting to relive the glory days. It's the same thing that doomed the San Antonio Spurs since post Kawhi Leonard. And even you can attribute the Kawhi Leonard situation to that circumstance. As you go forward, that's just the situation that we're looking at.